All right, first ever NBA award show tonight. We'll find out who will be taking home all the hardware. Will Russ go home with the MVP? Does Pop take home Coach of the Year? Call us. That's what we're here for.
Live from NewsChannel 8, this is Toyota Sports Talk.
And welcome to Toyota Sports Talk. I'm Robert Burton. Tonight, we're talking Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Six-Man Award, all that good stuff. We'll also talk about who's the biggest sleeper in the NBA draft. Josh Hart from Villanova, picked by the Lakers, or Luke Kennard from Duke, picked by Detroit. Call us. Let us know your thoughts on the NBA draft. And we want to welcome in tonight our very own, and it's about time, very own producer for NCA WJLA, Omar Mohammed.
What's going on?
Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me, man.
And by the way, this is a guy who comes to the sports office just about every day, bounces the basketball, bricks on our little Fisher Price hoop.
Dunk is what he's talking about. What I do is I dunk.
He gives his opinions.
And what I do is educate. I want to say educate is the right word.
You don't educate.
Okay.
But he's always wrong. But anyway, so let's get straight to it before we go back and forth this entire show. So we're talking about, the awards tonight. MVP, Coach of the Year, Six-Man, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. Let's start with MVP. I don't think we really have to argue about this. I think we all know who this is going to be.
I think we all know who it should be. It should be Russell Westbrook.
Right.
Average triple-double. Took an OKC team without a lot of help to the playoffs.
Okay.
And went against a team everyone thought was going to sweep them. They managed to win a game. And despite what you want to say about stat padding, let's say he was stat padding. Let's say he was doing things and his teammates were letting him get rebounds.
It's impressive.
It's still impressive.
It is.
And the defense still has to let him do it.
I agree. But and as you remember this, when you would come back to sports office, I'd always be like, hey, James Harden. If James Harden wins the MVP, I'm not going to be upset because you're talking about
I would be upset.
Okay. but anyway.
I would be upset.
James Harden does have a better team. Okay,
he has a way better
I get that. I understand that. You made that point too. But if James Harden wins MVP, I'm not going to be upset because he was winning. He was winning games,
right?
And he was also putting up triple doubles.
You know what he wasn't doing?
What was he not doing?
Playing defense.
Is Russell a defensive player though?
Is Russell not better defensively than James?
But is he that much better a defensive player than James Harden?
Yes.
Really?
James doesn't play defense.
I know James is known for not playing defense, but is Russ all defensive team?
No, Russ is not all defensive team. But if I'm comparing Russ and James, Russ is more athletic. You have a better chance of getting the ball stripped from Russell Westbrook than you do from James Harden on ball.
Okay, I agree with that. I agree with that. No argument here.
So that makes him a more difficult cover. No.
I think James Harden is far more difficult covered. You want to know why? Because James Harden is the best at creating and getting to the line. How many times have you seen
offensively?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, James Harden is
or you're
more
talking
skilled
about
offensively.
defensively.
I was talking about them guarding the other person. That's what I was referring to. I'm sorry.
Let's move on. Omar. Coach of the Year.
Education, y'all.
Coach of the Year. Eric Spoelstra, Mike D'Antoni, Greg Popovich. Eric Spoelstra, Miami. In my opinion, I think Brad Stevens should have been in that top three. Don't get me wrong, Eric is a great coach. Did amazing things. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade leaves. He's able to do something with that team. Deion Waiters, he's able to, do something with him. But Brad Stevens, with that Celtics team, and I know you say the Celtics, they're deep, they're very deeper.
Deep. And Brad Stevens, his first couple of years, first and foremost, Brad Stevens is a fantastic coach. Let me not take nothing away from Brad Stevens. He took a group of guys his first few years that were average players, and he won with those guys. He took those guys to the playoffs. His team's no longer average. These are seasoned guys. These are skilled guys. They're a deep team, very deep team. And he coaches them up well. That's why they got to the Eastern Conference Finals. The reason Eric Spoelstra is nominated here is because he went 500, not just with the team that's minus LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, who probably was their best player, and he has blood clots, but he was still on the roster. But the players that got injured, Justice Winslow didn't play for a long stretch of the season, and he went 500 with that team.
Yeah.
So, that takes a lot of coaching. I don't think he wins it, But I think he deserves the honorable mention.
I agree.
And if there's anyone that should get over Eric Spoelstra, it should be Scott Brooks from the Wizards, actually.
I agree. In fact, we were just talking about that. And, you know, it's very rare that I agree with Leonard Fournette. Excuse me, Omar Mohammed.
My bad.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
I didn't tell everybody. I'm really grateful that Stephon Urkel from Steve Urkel, let me come on the show tonight.
Sean is in Hancock. Let's go to the phone line. Sean is in Hancock. Sean, what's up?
How you doing tonight?
Good, man. How are you, Sean?
All right. Hey, for the MVP, man, I believe Kawhi Leonard deserves it.
Wow.
Kawhi.
Yeah, for the Spurs, every year, Greg Popovich, the last first-round draft pick he had was Tim Duncan. Think about that. Everybody says you don't get no depth in the second round.
Kawhi was a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, Kawhi
I mean, look
first
at
round.
it. Greg Popovich is the best. Him and Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr's the man. But Popovich, and you got to go Leonard.
Okay.
That's just the way it is.
And
I
Sean,
don't know much about the draft. The guy Ball, they just run their mouth too much. I don't even want to hear about him.
I think everyone is tired.
It's too much hype there, and I think he's just gonna fluke out like RG3 did.
Oh boy.
Oh wow.
I really do. I see it
we still,
even on an NBA night, he somehow comes up.
He's not even in Washington anymore. He's not anywhere anymore.
But look, no, that Leonard man, he's great. Look, he was Sixth Man of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year twice, maybe 3 times now.
Yeah, and he's a candidate. He's a candidate.
And I agree with you.
I mean, Finals MVP. Come on now. Without him, the Spurs, they could have maybe beat Golden State.
I agree with you.
I can't say they would have.
And Sean, thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling. Kawhi Leonard, though, and it's funny because Keith, our producer, said he's pulling down video of possible MVP candidates to win tonight. He said the video was only of Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Kawhi Leonard, the video wasn't even there.
And we got to give up to Kawhi because
which is disrespectful.
It's very disrespectful.
Yeah.
He's probably the best two-way player in the NBA today. And when you say that, he was already outstanding defensively for the past how many years? 2 or 3 years now. He's already outstanding. But what he was able to do offensively this year and to raise his game, the only reason he's not mentioned with Russell Westbrook and James Harden is because of what they did statistically.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
The only reason.
Because we saw what happened in the playoffs when Kawhi Leonard went down. If he didn't go down, would Golden State be in the finals? That's an argument.
We saw what happened when he went down. We saw what happened when he was there. They were up like 25 points.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
So we talk about Kawhi Leonard. Let's move to Defensive Player of the Year. Like you said, he's probably the best two-way player in the NBA. But you can't forget about Draymond Green, who's also up there. And then you have Rudy Gobert, a guy who's not. He's not a superstar. He's not a big name.
Not on a big team.
But if you come in the lane, get ready because he will be there.
He's going to eat you up.
He will be there.
That's who my Defensive Player of the Year is.
Wow.
That's who my Defensive Player of the Year is. I mean, we all know about Draymond. We know what Draymond can do. We all know, and I just talked about how Kawhi's the best two-way player. But what Rudy Gobert did this year was a transformation. Man.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And he does everything that Draymond does except defensively, not shooting wise, not scoring wise, but he does everything that Draymond does, except he's 7'1". And
yeah, exactly.
He'll send your stuff into the stands. Like it's a wrap. Like, and then after he swats stuff and starts a fast break swatting your stuff, he's gonna come back down. He's gonna dunk on you.
All right. By the way, you look great tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Psych. We're gonna go to break. When we come back, more with Omar. We'll talk sleepers in the NBA draft. Who's the guy that'll sneak up on you? That's next in sports.
Like your hairline.
You don't sneak.
Your hairline sneaks up on people sometimes.
Don't sneak up on anybody.
He can score from deep, he can score in the middle game, and he can score at the rim. great body balance, by far in this draft, the best pick-and-roll ball handler in the draft. He's essentially a James Harden clone on the offensive end.
Seeing myself in the future, my goal is to be the best to ever play. So, I mean, that's my goal, just working hard every day to become that and taking that wherever that takes me, that's my goal. Seeing myself in the future, my goal is to be the best to ever play. So, I mean, that's my goal, just working hard every day to become that and taking that wherever that takes me, that's my goal.
Number 1 overall, Markelle Fultz, back here on Toyota Sports Talk with WJLA and NC8 producer Omar Mohammed. Salute.
Salute.
You actually look dapper today for once.
Thank you.
You guys should see this guy in the newsroom on a day-to-day basis.
I look fly.
It's not good.
He actually tries to dress like
you fly.
me often.
No, you don't look
often.
Fly. All right. Anyway, so Markelle Fultz, and we were just talking about this. He's still an enigma to me because I honestly, shout out to Prince George's County, but I didn't think he was the best player in the NBA draft. I could be wrong. I didn't see a ton of his games.
I actually agree with you. Unfortunately, I agree with you.
Well, you know what happens.
What Fultz is a fantastic scorer. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was a really good player, a really good scorer on a really bad Washington team. A team that didn't even qualify for the tournament.
Very bad.
But he was able to average some 20-plus points on that team. I think what a lot of scouts worry about is, we haven't seen him do it against elite competition. We haven't seen him do it at big pressure moments. Was he really closing out games? But he can score. And like you said, he's from the new basketball mecca, Prince George's County, that produces a lot of talent.
Can we stop that?
I think we shouldn't. Okay. I don't think we should.
Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm from Chicago, and that seems to be
you guys don't produce as many athletes as Prince George's County. That's just
okay.
what it is.
I could have sworn I just named off about 5 of them. But anyway,
okay.
Let's go to the phone. Let's go to phone lines. I promise you I did. Spencer from Oxon Hill. Spence, what's up, man?
Spence knows about PG County.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. What's up, Spence? Thanks for calling, man. Love it when you call.
I think the guy who should be the coach of the year is Steve Kerr, because he had his ordeal with his body, and he made it back to represent his team, and Mike Brown represented him the whole time, and the staff and players. So I think Steve Kerr, because he got 2, and Michael Jordan don't have any in his role. So Steve Kerr is the ultimate coach.
Well, Spence, and I see where you're going, but he wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
He just wasn't there, man. I mean,
he was a part-time coach. I mean, nothing against him. I mean, that's definitely probably his schemes and his system.
Yeah.
But Mike Brown did a lot of that coaching on the sideline.
To have a good staff, so give him credit.
It's a fantastic staff.
He's
credit. A fantastic coach.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, he's an amazing coach. He knows how to win. He has plenty of final experience playing with the Chicago Bulls.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean,
Jordan's team.
He's a guy that, but he hit some game-winning shots. But he's a guy who knows how to win. So, I mean, we're giving credit to where credit is due, but Mike Brown stepped in. And I'd agree with you more if you said Mike Brown could possibly get coach of the year.
And can you give him coach of the year if you got 4 All-Stars on your team?
That's another thing. That's a totally different story.
How much coaching do you really have to do?
That's a totally different. In fact, I think Steve kind of alluded to that himself, is that, well, I'm the luckiest coach in the NBA.
Here's the halftime huddle.
Go out there,
pass the ball to each other, and when you want to shoot it, and get back on defense. That's the draw up. That's what they did.
Spence, thank you so much for calling, man. Dennis is in Northwest. Dennis, what's up?
Hey guys, how you doing? You sort of sound like when Spoelstra took over Miami, they were saying he was a figurehead. He was easy to coach these guys. I just have a couple of quick comments and a question on my hang-up. I hear all season long about the Westbrook-Harden thing. People tend to forget, man. I think what Nate Archibald back in the day did, he was the first player to lead the league in scoring and assists. I mean, that's impossible, but it doesn't get mentioned enough. And one more quick thing, I personally think Westbrook deserves the MVP. I'm going to hang up and listen to you guys' comment. Thank you.
Well, again, I mean, we already talked about this. And in fact, they do pay homage to the old heads.
Yep.
The Big O came back.
Big O, Oscar Rob.
Yeah, and Russ paid his respect, the former triple-double king. So, but at the same time, it's just amazing what Russ was able to do.
Especially with everybody knowing, you stop Russ.
Exactly.
You stop the Thunder.
Exactly.
And, his shooting percentage could have been a lot better.
Right.
But, despite the lack of shooters on his team, 10 assists a game, getting rebounds despite having 2 7-footers on the court, Enes Kanter, Adams.
Yeah.
What he did was amazing. No matter what you say about it, you can say stat padding, but you also people say LeBron stat padded in the finals. Who cares? Stop it.
No, definitely.
and he's the MVP.
Definitely. We're going to go to break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about sleepers, something that we're going to talk about in this block, but we got to talking like we do every single day. What you about to say?
Don't sleep on his haircut though. You see that fade?
Wow, you see it, right? It's fresh, right?
Is it? It's
fresh, right?
It looked like he's been out in the produce aisle too long.
Wait a minute.
I would actually complain about that.
But where's your hair?
If it was a fruit.
Where's your hair?
Because I look smooth, boy. I look smooth. Smooth.
Welcome back to Toyota Sports Talk. Big news coming from the NBA. Malcolm Brogdon, former UVA star, Rookie of the Year. This is the guy you had winning the Rookie of the Year, right?
That's who I thought should win.
Right, and a very, very impressive rookie season on a team that had a lot of players that have improved.
And I want to give the NBA voters kudos for this because Malcolm, Joel Embiid, had all the statistics. 20 points per game, 46% from the field, 36 from three-point range as a big man. But he did have his injury issues, and he did miss a lot of games. But Malcolm Brogdon stepped in for a team that has improved, that needed a point guard. And, you know, when they drafted him or when they took him, when they signed him, he wasn't supposed to be a guy that was supposed to contribute like that.
And went to the playoffs. This team went to the playoffs. And by the way, we were watching video of him dunking on both Kyrie Irving and LeBron James. And this wasn't like a, you know, face-to-face dunk. This was a reverse dunk.
And it was the same game where he dunked on both of them.
Yes.
He said, I got you first.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to go with the king.
I'm gonna get the king. And then in the locker room afterwards, he said, if I would have known it was LeBron, I probably wouldn't have jumped.
Right. But, hey, you shoot at the king, you best not miss.
Exactly. It's okay. It's okay. All right, let's go to phone lines. Dave is in Crofton. Dave, what's up?
Hey, Robert. How are you all tonight?
Good. How are you, Dave?
All right. Robert, you know, I always call in. I'm a Cowboy fan. And, you know, I look at players that are drafted. I'm talking about the Sixers tonight and Fultz. This kid seems really to be full of himself. When I talk about the Cowboys, I think we got a winner there with Zeke.
Okay.
And, you know, Dak was sort of a great thing that happened. Didn't plan on it, but players that win in college, he won 9 games last year in college.
That's bad.
He seems a little bit full of himself. I want him to believe that he's going to be good. I go back to Wilt Chamberlain, by the way.
Yeah.
76ers, Dr. J, and all that full. Allen Iverson, and I don't know, man. Is this guy really going to be that good for the 76ers? He just seems overconfident.
Well, I think, Dave, to your point, I don't know about overconfident, but a tiny bit overrated, in my opinion.
Well, I think a lot of it, when you take a guy number one, you want him to be able to contribute right away. But you also are banking on his potential. And, you know, this guy, Fultz, may not be a star right away. If he gives you 15 points a game, be happy with that. But I think you're hoping as a first overall pick, down the line, he'll be able to be a big-time scorer, a big-time player for your team.
Okay.
And especially on a team like the 76ers is already built young, that already has a lot of decent passers. You have Ben Simmons coming in.
Right.
You have Joel Embiid.
They'll be bad when they're all healthy.
When they're all healthy.
That'll be a bad team.
How much do you need him to contribute, really? I can't speak on his personality because I haven't seen any big-headedness. I may be wrong.
I haven't.
He may be big-headed.
Well, he comes from DeMatha, and this is a system that prides himself on Chicago stand-up, that prides himself on being humble. You know, they generate. I mean, we've been to DeMatha, we've covered their games, we've covered their football games and their basketball games. Not once have I gone to DeMatha and said, hey, this kid is a little too big-headed. I don't know if he'll survive in the league. I don't know how he'll react to
Give that out to the
media.
coaching at DeMatha because I think they humble
Shout
a
out
lot
to
of
Mike
their players.
Jones.
And you know, going back just to Fultz and to the last point that Malcolm Brogdon won Rookie of the Year, I think that also speaks volumes about, you know, maybe Fultz may not be that great. Malcolm Brogdon was Rookie of the Year. The difference between the two is one was one and done. One stayed in the system for 4 years.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of NBA guys are drafting young guys really quickly, banking on potential, and they're devaluing the guys that stayed in school, got their degree, or just stayed longer. The Josh Harts,
the Frank Mason,
the Melo Trimbles.
Yes.
You know, guys like this who went undrafted specifically because they stayed in school. They're older now. Even though, like 22 or 23 is old.
Gone are the days where you take guys like Mike and Patrick Ewing and, you know, guys who stayed 4 years in Ralph Sampson.
And learn
those
something.
guys. Yes, exactly.
Not just in the classroom, but on the court, too.
The 50 greatest players, the majority of them, probably, I think they went to school for at least 3 years. At least 3 years. A lot of them.
I mean, how many one-and-dones were there before the new millennium?
I mean, I remember KG was the first high school kid coming out of high school that I was aware of. You know, a kid growing up in the 90s. You grew up same year. We'll talk more about this in the sports office, though.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes, of course, when you come back with those crusty pants. All right, coming up after the break, final thoughts from Omar Mohammed. We'll be right back.
Oh, man.
All right, final thoughts here with Omar. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go down the list. These are my picks. MVP, Russell Westbrook, okay?
Agreed.
Coach of the Year, Mike D'Antoni. That
Agreed.
was my original pick.
No, it wasn't. He just picked
that was
that
my
break
original
after he
pick.
heard me.
Six
He wants to be
man.
me.
Six man. I'm going to go with Andre Iguodala, just for the ring.
Eric Gordon.
All right, Rookie of the Year. I'm going to go with, well, Malcolm Brogdon already won that.
And I had Malcolm Brogdon.
Of course you did. And Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going to have to go with Kawhi Leonard. All right.
Rudy Gobert, Most Improved Player, Nikola Jokic for the Nuggets.
Oh, wow. That's who
Most
you're
improved-
going with?
That's who I'm going with. I got him over Rudy Gobert and Antetokounmpo.
And this is the guy who came from Portland?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Omar, thanks for being here with us.
Ty Pinkston, thank you for
Since you
having me.
practically begged us to be on this show.
I didn't.
We'll see you some other time.
Ty Pinkston, I appreciate coming on.
All right, Draymond Green with no hair.
Weren't you in the New Edition movie?
On the next Toyota Sports Talk.
You know how